I'd like to open the Public Service Committee here at the lower level of the Robert E. Jones Municipal Building, Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, and it's a little after 6. Roll call, please.
Alderman Sherry Pickering.
Here.
Ethan Burt. Eve Ludwig.
Present.
Tricia Teague.
Present.
Robert Williams.
Present.
Darren York.
Present.
Chairman Rick Streebing.
Here,
6 present.
present, thank you.
Chairman, let the record reflect that Alderman Byrd is out ill this evening.
Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, number 2 is the approval of the minutes for 10/25/22. You probably all got to look at them at home and everything. I'll need a motion in a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Any questions on the minutes? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We have approval of the agenda in front of us. I don't think there's any changes, deletions this evening. So we'll need a motion in a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Is there any questions on the agenda at this time? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. What's just item number 4, audience comments.
Has everyone had a chance to complete a yellow card who wishes to speak this evening? Okay, when I call your name, please come to the podium, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. First, I have Tommy Shepard of 2 Stroop Street of Danville regarding garbage and sewer bill.
Good evening. I have a serious question I need to ask y'all. If you run a continual zero balance through the year on your bill, and then at the end of the year, you get a previous bill balance, which they say is from when somebody else had it, but you have proof that you have zero balance on everything, what would you do? And this is on a garbage bill. I have the paperwork right here. And it even states right on the top of it, right there, write-off specification, credit, $182. But yet, this month, a year after you guys took back control, I get a bill for this $182 plus late charges tacked onto my normal garbage and gas bill. Well, if it's a write-off, ain't that considered double jeopardy when it's paid twice?
I will allow our comptroller to finally address, to primarily address this. However, it says write-off transfer. That's the Danville Sanitary Bill District writing off. After so many times of being unable to collect, they write it off and then they transfer it over to us. And I believe that that's what happened in this and a number of other cases in the community. Comptroller, did you?
So Mr. Shepard indicated he'd be here this evening, so we were all looking at the same item. You have that same bill history in front of you. Yes, at the top of his bill history from our previous billing vendor, it does show, quote, write-off transaction. That is when,
182.
yes, that is when it was removed from the ledger of our bill, our bill company, Danville Sanitary, and it would be put onto our books, because when they did billing for us on a quarterly basis, if they could not collect their bills, they took it, quote, off of their books and sent it over to us for collections. So that's what that write-off is on the ledger. As you can see, he did remain current. He's absolutely true through September of 2021. He received a bill for August, received a bill for September, made a partial payment. Then that difference of $182 was not collected and transferred over to us. Prior to the city doing collections, we did not have a software to track delinquent collections, but now that we do our own billing and collections, we do have Encode, and that balance was put into our Encode software. We sent out a letter to every individual impacted by this prior to the bills coming out, saying that they would see this balance on their bill, and that is what Mr. Shepard is seeing now, that balance of $182.
And when were those letters sent?
About 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Why did it take over a year and it wasn't added onto my regular bill like it's supposed to be, saying outstanding balance? Outstanding balance, 0. Receipts, 0.
Yeah. My response to that
That'd
would
be the same with me coming up to you and saying, hey, I knew you 20 years ago and you borrowed $50 off me. You owe me $50 plus late charges.
My response to your question would be that the city of Danville bills over 15,000 sewer garbage public safety bills a year, a month, and we do that with 2 full-time staff and 2 additional staff in our office that had other full-time duties have taken on to help with billing. So unfortunately, with 2 full-time staff, this is the timeline we had on getting this project done. That's why we sent a letter notifying ahead of time that these previous balances existed.
Lady, that's the same thing like I just said. You borrowed $50 off me 5 years ago, 20 years ago. You owe me $15 late charge for each one. Prove to me you got the receipts to say that you didn't.
Mr. Shepherd, she wanted to share this with you, but you let her know that you were coming here and just, kind of left. But we will waive the penalty for that, of course. We'll be glad to waive the penalty for that. But it is something that you do owe the city of Danville, so that's why
Okay,
it's showing. as
so I
due.
do owe the city of Danville that. That's not a problem. I will gladly pay it. But now, also on that paper, it says that you put a lien on my house. What is this lien for and how come I was never notified?
We have not put a lien on your house. It's just a notice that, as we always have the option that we can put a lien on the property if the bill is not paid. And that's always existed. That's not something new.
Lien update process.
That is the billing history from Danville Sanitary District. Listen,
What's the first word? Lien.
Sir, if you will please allow her, you've asked the question, if you could please allow her to respond.
I cannot control what language is put on this billing history by another entity's billing system.
I understand that.
Okay, so because it says lien does not mean that now the city of Danville put a lien on your house. This is just what the process is called in the billing software. You have to run utility accounts, they're in batches. So any delinquent account, right, was probably put into a batch. I can't say because this is not our software, but was probably put into a batch. Hundreds of delinquent accounts were probably run through the same process, and that's probably what the process is called, to pull it off of their books. That does not mean that a lien was physically filed. I cannot control the description on this billing history.
I understand that. Now, the next question I got is, I got this paperwork from you today, from your employees at the main office. This is what they gave me, and the receipts say. If you're owed this kind of money, why do you wait till the end of the year and tack it on people right before Christmas when you could have spaced it out during the year saying there is a previous balance, and in the meantime, leading them on saying there is no balance, but you're still tacking the late charges on?
I already addressed why it happened when it happened. I didn't get a chance earlier to tell you, we do offer payment agreements in my office. That is something that we're able to do. We don't force you to pay one balance up front, but we can set up a payment arrangement. That's something we consistently do.
I'll pay cash like I always do. I pay my bill up front always at the beginning of the month. Sometimes I pay it at the end of the month for the next month. But I'm just saying, don't throw a surprise bill in front of somebody and say, you owe me this. It's over a year old. That'd be like me coming up to you, Ricky, I painted your house. You still owe me for 3 weeks' work on there, and that's been a couple of years ago. I'm just using that as an example.
Sure. This was within the last year, it wasn't like this was 20 years ago. This was within the last year.
Right. This is the city of Danville. We're supposed to be up to date on everything.
And we are now.
We are now. Okay, so if I get another bill like this, you want me to pay it too? Or am I just supposed to give you guys an unlimited check, here, I'll just sign the bottom and you guys write in whatever figure you want.
Well, as the comptroller discussed with you, if you have proof that you've paid it, then we would gladly,
This is the final step in our conversion of taking back utility billing.
Right there, says December 2021, balance, 0.
Mr. Shepherd, I apologize, but again, we've explained to you what happened. There's nothing more that we can do at this time.
Okay, so I need to go other actions on this? I will. Thank you. You all have a good night, and I'll see myself out.
Thank you. Mr. Shepherd, you dropped something.
Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Which is chairman's comments. I just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Chair.
Don't eat too much. Puts us item number 6, approval of payrolls for 11/18 of '22. I'll need a motion and a second, please.
So
I'll make a
moved.
motion.
Is
A
there-
second.
You got a motion and a second. Is there any questions on the payrolls? Not roll call, please.
Alderman Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Burt, Ludwig,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, thank you. Puts us to item number 7, approval of vouchers payable. Looks like we've got a special run for 11/21/22, and then there's one for 11/22 of '22. Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any questions on vouchers payable? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Burt, Ludwig.
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
6 yes, the motion carries, thank you. Puts us to item number 8, city clerk's report, Lisa Munson, and items of information.
Thank you. I really don't have anything to update the committee on this evening, so just going and doing our semi-annual liquor licenses and responding to FOIAs and day-to-day activities.
Well, thank you then.
Chairman, committee, I just want to commend our city clerk. She has really worked hard with our deputy clerk, and Mrs. Hahn is doing a great job and coming right along in terms of helping us processing the licenses and such. It's going very efficiently and effectively.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good, thank you. Puts us to number 9, finance, Ashland Macy, Comptroller, items of information, and risk management and personnel monthly report.
In your packet, you have a risk management monthly report and personnel monthly report. Are there any questions on those? Okay. So in your email, you should have received from me this afternoon an updated budget binder. It has the most up-to-date draft levy, along with draft ordinances related to the levy process, a draft budget ordinance, as well as an updated budget draft. The only difference between the first and second draft is the updated open enrollment information was plugged in. We just closed open enrollment last week, and we made a mad dash to get that all keyed into the budget, and then we made some budgetary adjustments for the changes in work comp and liability insurance. Just based off what our renewal is going to be, it's going to go up, and then we expect certain changes in budget years moving forward, so those have been plugged in. So yeah, if you have any questions, of course, on the budget or levy, reach out to me anytime. I guess I do want to open the floor if you guys have any questions about the sewer balances placed on there. We'll just address them.
I guess the one question that I have is that when we started, my assumption based on the things that, or my impression, I should say, based on the things that you said in response to him, was that this was planned. Like, okay, we know that we're transitioning, and a transition, as I've done software transitions before, so I can definitely appreciate the situation that you're in, that it happens in stages, and in one stage we'll do this, and another stage we'll do that. My question is, was the possibility of the past due balances coming later ever communicated to citizens prior to the letter that was sent 4 or 5 weeks ago?
No, it was not. Prior to the letter they received, no, because the reason we decided to do that was for the purpose of efficiency, right? So the situation we were in prior to taking on this phase of the project is that we had balances from before we did billing that were owed to the city that were tracked in spreadsheets, and that's the system that I inherited when I came. And then we had utility billing over here that we had done, that the city itself had billed over the last year. So we're attempting to collect from citizens on letters and spreadsheets over here that is not reflected on their monthly bill. The issue he was kind of bringing up is that, well, I'm getting a bill over here that's only for 1 month, but you're saying I owe this back balance. The point of this phase of the conversion is to put every charge the city is due on one bill, one place, and then there's also a digital record outside of a spreadsheet. Not that our staff is not skilled, capable, and detail-oriented, but spreadsheets, we want to prevent accidents, and putting it in a software does that. So we did send a letter ahead of this project so they would know you will see on your next bill, and it was only targeted to, it was a mail merge. It was only those citizens that it affected. They received a letter from us. You will see this balance as you should have been previously notified before on your next bill, so you can see that balance moving forward. If you have any questions or would like to enter a payment agreement, call our office.
And Alderwoman, they did receive letters from the sanitary district previously. So essentially what we've done is taken what they've received previously on paper and put it into their electronic billing.
Yeah, they would have received the original bill from Danville Sanitary District, 2 months of follow-up from the Danville Sanitary District. Then when it came over to us, they should have gotten a letter from the city of Danville saying, we understand you owe us these charges, and then potentially subsequent letters after that, depending on the timing, so.
So, okay, so you said they should have received letters from the city of Danville. So then they would have received, so then did they actually, that's where I'm confused at. So if they, so they would have received like 2 letters from us and 2 letters from the sanitary district? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
they would have gotten 2 delinquent bills, so bills showing past charges before it came over to us. And then as soon as it came to us, they should have said, notice of delinquent charges and potential lien, I think is what the header says, saying, we show that you owe for this period of time. If you don't address it, these are the consequences. They would have gotten that from us when we received those charges from DSD for collection.
So that would have been last year in December.
Depends on whenever it would have been delinquent, yes. And then before this project, before it went on their bill, they got another letter from us saying, hey, those charges that you owe us,
Now they're going on.
they're
your bill.
going on your postcard, and you will see those reflected there.
And no, and that was the letter that was sent 4 or 5 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I can remember though, when we got ready to do all the billing, because it was dropping our lap pretty fast. It was quick, taking over the sewers and everything, and trying to get everything online and trying to get everything taken care of. And there's probably, like she said, there's once in a while something will drop through the cracks, but they're willing to work with these people,
Absolutely.
so. Any other questions for finance? Thank you, Ms. Macy. Number 10, Fire, Don McMasters, Fire Chief. Item of information, his monthly status report.
You should have had in your packet this month, the October fire monthly report, as is about par for the course status. We had 6 structure fires in the month of October for a total of about $142,000 worth of loss. Most of those fires were typical residential fires. One of them was a significant, the 1850 East Voorhees, as you see on the list. That would be the HRW company out on Voorhees Street that uses, I don't know what they use, all kinds of different items to make baby pig food. And we've had several fires there over the past years from them. This one was not as significant of a fire, did approximately $100,000 damage to one of their cooking oven units in the facility, but this time it did not do any damage to the facility itself as it did last time. So that made a kind of significant loss for the month as far as the month is concerned for the report. As you see, as is par for the course, about 66-67% of our calls were EMS-related responses. Nothing else of major otherwise than that. Items we've got on the agenda coming up, we had an individual who separated from the department today, as well as the one that we are short already. And with my leaving next week, that'll put us down 3 personnel that we are going to be looking for new personnel to hire. However, we are, as y'all are aware as well, we don't have an active list to hire off of right now, so we are expediting our testing process to create a new list so that we can hire off of. So we're working on that. So we're hoping to get that list, if things go smoothly, to have that list into effect no later than the 1st of February, so we can get 3 individuals hired and get them to the academy the end of February. I believe the 27th of February, whatever that Monday is, I believe is when the academy starts. So at this point, we've got for certain 3 individuals we'll have to hire to put in there. With that, the testing process for the new applicants, we did a pretty significant. Ashton Greer helped me put together a bunch of advertisement and things like that for our testing process to get new recruits. And we received 29 complete applications of applicants to request a test. As far as we had some from like Edwardsville area, 1 or 2 out of state that we received applications from. Hopefully all of them will show up and we'll test and we'll do well on the test. So we'll have a good list to put together so we can hire from in February. With that being said, a week from today, Tuesday the 29th, is my last day on the job. And so all these things that I've been getting put together and ready to go, the gentleman sitting next to me is going to take over the reins and run with it. Like I said, the 10th of December is when the testing process is. We've also done it to where we're going to complete 2 of the 3 phases of the test in one day. So everyone will come out. They will do a physical agility test. If they pass it, then they will meet us. Then they will have to be required to go to DACC for the written portion of the test at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and get both of those entities done. That way, then, if they pass both of those tests, as soon as we get the scores, we will call them in for interviews so we can complete the testing process as quick as possible. Because again, if we miss the February academy, now we're looking at a fall academy, so that just puts us that much further behind. So that is on tap. Also, most of you are aware of the long discussion on the fire truck and the aerial apparatus purchases using ARPA funds. We are scheduled to open up the bids for that on the 7th of December. So those will be open on the 7th of December, and then we'll be bringing to you shortly thereafter a resolution to make purchase based on what we receive for those bids. And again, all of this will be taken care of by the gentleman sitting next to me. That's the only other thing I have tonight is those of you who do not know him, this is next to me is Captain Aaron Marcotte. He will be the new chief in my place effective Wednesday of next week, the 30th. If you have any questions for me or him. Yes, ma'am.
What's the timeline between going to academy and joining fire service?
We've tightened up the reins pretty good to where, and if we have any ahead of time schedule allowances to, we even expedite it even more. But if we're on this tight time schedule, this will be a worst case scenario. They will start the academy the 27th, I believe it is, of February. The academy is 7 weeks. Then they have a week off, and then they have 2 more weeks they have to go back over there. So it's a 10 weeks total. Once they get off that 10 weeks total, about usually either 1 or 2 more 40-hour weeks. We have some other things we have to do with them in the station, and then we put them on shift.
So
And once they're put on shift, they're put on shift and count towards manning.
So approximately 12 weeks then.
So yeah, worst case scenario, probably 12 weeks.
Okay.
Alderwoman Chief has done a good job of starting to do some of the training ahead of time, so that way they have to do less things after academy.
And there are things that, because of scheduling courses, there are other courses they have to have down the road. Of course, EMT is one of them. But for instance, like the EMT classes, most times they will run 1 night or 2 nights a week for X number of weeks. And so they are on shift and working during that period just on their duty days. If their duty day happens to be the Tuesday they leave the department, they leave the station, go to class, come right back to work. So once they're on shift, there's not very many more time frames where we pull them from shift. And if we do, it's for a week here or a week there to attend a course.
Have any other questions for Fire Chief? If not, Thank you, sir.
Chairman, I did want to mention, those, you know that he doesn't know, but we were planning a surprise luncheon celebration for him.
now.
Oh, you do? Okay. Unfortunately, Chief's aunt passed and the services will be tomorrow, so we're not going to be able to do that. So the fire service already has an honoring ceremony. So next Tuesday, the 29th at 3 p.m., he will have his walking out ceremony. It's an official rite of passage for firefighters. And so we hope you'll be able to be there next Tuesday at 3 o'clock at Station 3 on 1111 North Griffin Street. And also, we will invite Chief back at hopefully the second meeting in December to honor him appropriately with a plaque and such. Chief, thanks for everything.
You said that was the 29th?
Yes, sir, the 29th at Station 3, which is 1111 North Griffin at 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mona kind of hesitantly said, when I called her yesterday, said, okay, I'll have to, because I told her, I said, can we change it to our lunch to Monday or Tuesday or something? And she said, I'll have to check with the mayor and let you know. Well, I hadn't heard from her, and my wife texted me, and of course, I didn't know my wife was aware of this too. My wife texted me and said, hey, did you tell the mayor you can't be there Wednesday? And I said, yeah, so I called Mona back, and she said, okay, here's the rest of the story. So, yeah, I found out about it this morning.
All right, thank you. Puts us to item number 11, Human Relations, Ms. Finch, Administrator, and item information and the monthly status report.
Administrator Finch went home unwell this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on her behalf.
Have any questions on her report, Human Relations?
Did she email a report?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
It's in the Dropbox, too.
Oh,
I must have missed that.
I didn't get it.
So the way her
Well, I didn't look.
the way her report, the way the month falls, there's twice a year, and she explained in the email that her month doesn't conclude before our meeting concludes, and so that's why the report, it just came today, so.
Have you found it?
I just found it, yeah. I don't have any questions.
Anybody else have any questions on her report? Okay, thank you. Puts us to item number 12, Information Technology. Agnell's not here, but he's got a report and his item of information. Anybody have any questions on his report? If not, puts us at item number 13, Legal, with James L. Simon, Corporate Counsel. 13A, we have a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to fiscal year 2022 through 2023, the Environmental Code Enforcement, budget number 14. I will make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Does anybody have any questions on this resolution? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman York,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Burt, Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
6 yes.
Yes, motion carries. Puts us to item 13B, items of information and Corporate Counsel's monthly report. Mr. Simon.
You all have the latest monthly report, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those. As you can see, weeds and grass type cases, they're tapering off because of the weather. If you look at the report, you'll also see what we call P&T, which is public nuisance tow. These are vehicles that are towed when a police stop is made and the driver, for whatever reason, is unable or not allowed to drive their vehicle. They're towed to Carnegie's or the other tow company. And, you know, the underlying criminal charges addressed usually across the street, and then legal just handles the P&T charge and the fine in the city court process and all. I want to introduce Tim Palin, sitting next to me. He's our new Assistant Corporation Counsel. He's learning city court, bond court, and small claims court very quickly, and I would expect within a week or two, depending on how this holiday interferes, he will be taking over those with little or no assistance from me, and I greatly appreciate that. He'll be picking up the real estate work, and over time, I will be having him pick up other work, because I want him to be fully integrated into the process. Then maybe I'll take a 6-month vacation if the mayor will approve it. But in any event, I'm excited to have him here. If you have questions on anything legal, call our office, and if I can't answer it, I know Tim will be able to.
Well, welcome. Welcome. Okay, puts us to item number 14. We have the police, and Chris Yates is not here, the police chief, but we have somebody here in his place.
Deputy Chief McCord.
Yep, Deputy Chief McCord. We have 14 days items of information. One, you have the offense count, a 3-year trend. Item 2, you've got a 2022 through 2020 through 2022 case offense data, and item number 3 is January, November offense count. So, if you would, if you got any questions for him on the reports?
The 3-year, is a 3-year trend year-to-date for each year?
So I think what Chief Yates has put in here, I think one shows the data collection through November 14th. And then I'm be honest with you, I'm not quite sure. I think the other shows the entire year for every year except for 2022.
Okay.
So just comparing the months versus the entire year.
Is there any questions on any 3 of these reports?
Chairman, I'm always nervous to say this.
Well, don't. No. It's just like when the fire says something, they,
We're never satisfied with where we are.
yeah, I know.
We're making progress.
All right. Thank you very much. Puts us item 15 for closed session. I don't see any paperwork here, so we don't need that this evening. Items of information. I know that Friday night at 5:30, we're going to light up for Main Street, Christmas lights. I think they were still looking for volunteers and to pass out candy canes and stuff. So that's about all I know. Mary, what other items of information do you have for us?
I don't have any, except that we hope that we'll see you this Friday at 5:30, and if not, that we'll see you the following Friday at 6 o'clock for the Night of Lights Parade. Does anyone else have any reports for us this evening? Any additional items of
I can give
information?
an update if that's okay.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I don't have any physical reports for you guys, but I would like to just give you an update because I know it's been a while since I've been in here now. I finally am getting some good footing. I feel like probably in the next couple weeks, Comptroller Massey has been a great help to me. So has Clerk Lisa Monson. We've been really trying to go through to make sure that things are done correctly. We've gone back and found some different things that needed to be corrected. That's been done, and now we're moving forward. So I feel good about that. We did get the DOI in, which that was a big hurdle. So I think that moving forward, you guys are going to get a more consistent every single month from me. So I do apologize, it's taken some time. We just went very carefully through a lot of details to make sure that each item was correct, because we didn't want to have to, get confused or go backwards. But if any of you ever have any questions or would like to come speak to me in my office, I'd be more than happy to, go over the different things that we're changing. And I'll definitely give you a more detailed report on the different things that have changed in the office, and how we're going to be moving forward later. Does anybody have any questions? Sure, go ahead.
My one question is, how far back did you guys decide to go?
So for right now, we went back to October. Well, actually, I went back to August 2021, as I was trying to sort through, we had a backlog of things that weren't done all the way to November 2021. So November 2021 forward, so far, was not done at all. I went back to August to try to get a bearing on what I was given. And that's been very difficult to look through, but I think that we're getting it, and I'm changing the way that those things look so that there's more clarity for you guys. So I do apologize, because I think going forward, you guys are probably going to get more information than less than you want, just so that,
such thing.
yeah, just so that you can actually see, what the reports actually mean and understand them fully. And then I'm sure later, once we get going, it won't take me nearly as long to explain things, but just so you know, yeah, you're probably going to get a bit of a flood the first few times I come in here, but is there anything else? Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did,
Okay.
thank you. And I don't think there's any such thing as too much information.
Okay.
At least me personally, I can't speak
Yeah.
for everyone else.
Well, I'd like to say thank you because and everybody else who's helped you, because I complained, how many years have I been complaining?
Several.
Things weren't right for a long time, so thank you for trying to clean up a mess that you were left, so.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I've had a lot of help. I really appreciate the help that Comptroller Massey and that Clerk Lisa Monson has helped me. So has Jamie White in personnel. She has helped me a ton. Kathy Corson. Like, I'm constantly being able to meet with these people, and they never complain once. Like, they have really all stepped in to help me try to piece things together the best we can. And I really do believe that we've turned a corner, because even today, it just seems like things are starting to clear up. All of us are starting to get on the same page, which is great. Yeah.
Well, thank you again, and Ms. Macy, thank you for, I know when we had the people in here to help with the audits and everything, I know you got a little help there too, so that's a good thing. So, thank you all. Anybody else have any items and information? If not, fulfilling everything we have in front of us this evening on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion and a second for adjournment.
Second.
So moved?
So moved. Second. I thought you made the motion, sorry.
No, I didn't.
Ahead of
We got a
myself.
motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We are adjourned.
There.
See, it's strange though, Alderwoman, because,
Yes.
when he's chairing the meeting, he can't make the motion.
Right.
But at city council, I'm chairing the meeting, and that's why the chairman